Welcome guys, I'm HOJ, and in today's video we're going to be doing some more ladder grinding with Orzhov Lifegain today. I'll be doing 5 best of 1 standard ranked ladder matches, and first I'll kind of go over the deck, then we'll do the games, and then I'll do sort of a wrap up at the end. In the video description you're going to see the full playlist for this deck, for all of my other decks, also for all of my best of 1 standard events, and my limited events if you'd like to check out any of those other videos. In addition, I'll also have the full deck list at moxfield.com, as well as the full win rate percentages on untapped.gg. And then there's also a link to subscribe if you like my content. For any returning viewers, thank you guys so much again for coming back. For any new viewers, thank you guys for checking out my channel. And in addition, I've also linked my other channel at the bottom of the video description. I also am a writer, and I like to write science fiction and fantasy, so if you have any interest in that, you can check that out also. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So Orzhov Lifegain, basically I was looking at the mono-white Lifegain deck that I've been running quite a bit on ladder, and I just felt like there wasn't kind of enough payoff cards. I mean, we had Ajani's Pridemate and Essence Channeler, which were both great payoff cards. And then I was trying to make room for Exemplar of Light, but just trying to work with the mana to make sure we had enough mana to get there. And there just kind of felt like there wasn't sort of enough of a payoff. We did have a Demi of the Silk Shoots kind of as a way to protect our creatures and as a sort of like board wipe protection. And then also I was running Kutzel's Flanker, which is really great against the Reanimator decks, but it's kind of sort of mid against a lot of other decks. It does give you life, so it's nice in utility, but I just kind of wanted sort of more of a strong, proactive approach. And so I looked at branching off into Orzhov. Now, Orzhov gives us 2 very strong cards in Amalia, Benavides, Aguirre, which has been around for a while, is another payoff card here where every time you gain life, Amalia explores, and then if and when its power is exactly 20, you then destroy all other creatures. So it's kind of like a pseudo finisher at that point. It does have ward of pay 3 life, so it's kind of a little bit hard for the opponent to target, or at least makes them think about it twice. And this is a nice, really great payoff card that fits right in with Essence Channeler and Pridemate on turn 2. In addition, we also get Deep-Cavern Bat, which gives us some way of getting information about the opponent's hand. It's another enabler here because it does have lifelink. Being able to look at their hand and then exile a non-land card until this creature leaves the battlefield. It's a very powerful effect, and in some ways this can maybe sort of help fill the gap by replacing kind of the effect we were looking for in a Demi and Kutzel's Flanker by sort of removing the, either the board wipe from the opponent's hand or potentially removing like the big Reanimator target or enabler, etc. It kind of is a catch-all. Now, I know it's not going to be perfect at those jobs, but it's going to give us a much more proactive approach, which I really like. Also, being able just to have information about what the opponent is doing is so powerful. So basically, this deck is simplified as 38 cards. It's 22 land. So we have everything is a creature except for 3 copies of Sheltered by Ghosts, which is another form of removal and also gives us lifelink. And so we have basically every creature in the deck except for Pridemate, Channeler, Amalia, and Exemplar of Light are all enablers. They all gain life whenever creatures come into play, or they attack and have lifelink and help kind of boost our payoff cards, where we have 14 payoff cards in Pridemate, Essence Channeler, Amalia, and Exemplar of Light. Very simple, just kind of get an enabler, get a payoff card, and try to take it to the win. The land, so as I was exploring mono white, I discovered Lupinflower Village, which is just fantastic at finding potential threats in our deck. It's even better in the Orzhov version. So it taps for white mana to cast a creature spell, which is the majority of our deck, or it taps for colorless, and then you can pay 1 white and 1 other and sacrifice it to look at the top 6 cards of the library, and you can reveal a bat, a bird, a mouse, or a rabbit card and put it into your hand. And put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So in this version of the deck, we actually have 20 different cards that hit off of it. So literally 1/3 of the deck. Healer's Hawk, Hinterland Sanctifier, Ruin-Lurker Bat, Essence Channeler, and Deep-Cavern Bat are all hits off this. So I think it's a very powerful effect, and I'm very happy to be running the full play set. For the dual lands to try to kind of help fix mana, we've got 4 copies of Concealed Courtyard, and since this deck is very low to the ground, it really fits. It comes in tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands, then it taps for white or black. 4 Godless Shrines, which is your typical plain swamp, and then as it enters, you can pay 2 life to have it untapped, otherwise it comes in tapped. And then you have 2 copies of Restless Fortress as another potential finisher, another way to gain life, and gives us some man lands. And then you also have 2 copies of Fountainport, which doubles as making creatures and a potential threat against control. And then also this is another way to pay life to give Essence Channeler Flying and Vigilance, which is a nice way to kind of go over the top. In addition, we've got 4 starting towns, which can you can pay a life to get a mana of any color, and paying a life again ties in with Essence Channeler to help give us another victory condition. And this also comes in tapped unless it's the first, second, or third turn of the game. Again, since the mana curve is so low, this really isn't too much of a downside. And then we have a basic plains, a basic swamp, so we can always go and fetch in case we get land destruction against us. But this gives us 15 sources of black and I believe 20 sources of white, which is the majority of the deck, so it gives us a decent chance at being able to play Deep-Cavern Bat or Amalia on turn 2. Overall, again, very straightforward plan, but I think simple is good. So let's go ahead and jump into the games. And I think we are currently somewhere around, 319 is where we are at on the ladder. I would like to get into the top 100 Mythic if possible. That's kind of my goal, but right now we're at 319. So we're working our way over. This hand looks great. We have an enabler, a couple different enablers here. We don't have a payoff card yet, but Haliya does help us draw cards, which is always great. Okay. And against mono red, we're going to try to minimize the pain that we take. So I'm going to wait on Godless Shrine here and start off with Healer's Hawk. All right, now let's go for probably Deep-Cavern Bat here. I don't think we need to do Sheltered by Ghosts yet, especially since they can just have 3 mana to get rid of our guy. So I think we just want to go for, let's go for Deep-Cavern Bat. And I think we should maybe use the starting town here just to minimize the life lost. We have enough land that we're not super worried about playing Godless Shrine. So I think let's do that. Just be cognizant of our life total. And let's look upstairs. Okay. Whew. They have a really good hand. Screaming Nemesis is super problematic, but because they don't have 4 mana, now they could always wait and then try to shock it to turn off our life gain, but that does give us some time. I think Nova Hellkite is actually more dangerous. Because it does give them a threat and it gets rid of our Deep-Cavern Bat easily at the same time. So they could just shock our bat here to get it back, or Lightning Strike. I don't know. I think this feels like a maybe slightly more useful play. They have a very good hand, though. Okay, they're just going to go for the Nemesis here, which makes sense. So what we can do now is we can try to at least delay them being able to turn off life gain, and we can go for Haliya plus Sheltered by Ghosts here, which I really like. So we'll go ahead and warp in Haliya, so draw us an extra card, and then we can Sheltered by Ghosts. God, I'm trying to decide if we want to do it in the Deep-Cavern Bat, because they can just shock it next turn and get everything back. So I think I'm going to place it on the Healer's Hawk, so we have like dual threats. Not sure if it's better to do it this way or the other way, and then get rid of the Screaming Nemesis, just so we can delay them turning off lifelink. Now we can draw a card and hopefully try to find an answer. So here they choose between which one they want to get back. We don't want to tie it all into one creature, though, I think. But if they use their shock, then they're going to have to find another mana before they can turn off lifelink. And this way, or they can just wait a turn and then use Lightning Strike on their Nemesis. I mean, either way, we're in kind of a tough spot here. All right, so now we don't have enough to do both. We could warp in Haliya again and then go for Essence Channeler and try to block one of their creatures. That's probably what we're going for. The 3/3 is nice, but even if we shift counters around, that feels pretty good. And getting 2 spells in also feels good. So we want to do that. Then we can play our Godless Shrine here and have it come in tapped. Get the final point of life gain, and draw an extra card. Again, we're just in real trouble here. We might just be dead just because they've got the Lightning Strike plus the Nemesis. It's such a rough spot to be in. They've got a very nice hand, but I think we did the best we could here to fight it. All right, so I think here we've got to block the Needlehead, I think. It's basically kind of the same. They go to 5. Actually, yeah, we're just dead here. Even if we block the Nemesis, we're just dead. So they have enough, unfortunately. Yeah, so mono red still a very difficult matchup. I don't know if we could have played that game differently to come out on top, but it can be a pretty tough match, especially if they have Nemesis. Even with all the life gain, just, yeah. All right, opening hand looks great. We've got stuff to do. We're on the play. We could lead out here with Lupinflower Village just in case we're not sure what we're up against without giving out too much information. Okay, and they are interesting. Okay. I guess I don't know this deck unless it's maybe Omniscience or some version of that, or like Blue-White Control, or who knows. So now we can go for Amalia here. We can also go for Deep-Cavern Bat. I kind of want to look upstairs and see what's going on. This will help potentially draw cards, which is nice. I think that's the only... We might be able to wait here. I think I'm actually just going to go for the Amalia, just because I want a chance at another card. That's nice, but let's go for some more... Actually, that's still really good, because if we do this plus Haliya, that guarantees another card next turn. I just want more land, honestly. Like Deep-Cavern Bat. If we can get a land, we can go Cavern Bat into Haliya, which is even better. Okay, so this is some version of Reanimator, maybe? Like 4-color Reanimator? Okay, that's perfect. So now we can go for Haliya and Deep-Cavern Bat. Okay, nice pickup. And we'll see what we're up against. Okay, Omniscience, sure. Cash grab. Do we want to just take their Omniscience? I mean, they've got a ways to go before they can do stuff. I think I'm just going to take Omniscience. I don't know what's best here, to be honest. That's a nice pickup also. They assume they're trying to get Omniscience into their yard so they can just do stuff. Okay, Kona is their money card, so we definitely want to take that. We can go Channeler plus Deep-Cavern Bat, and that feels pretty good. Exemplar of Light is great and everything, but let's go for the Cavern Bat again. Let's see, what else does this thing do? Okay. Take the Kona. That one I know is a dangerous card. Let's take another Cavern Bat. Yeah, these Cavern Bats are great. Okay, what does this guy do? So now we can go for Haliya plus Deep-Cavern Bat. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and then that's going to do it. Cool. All right, 1-1. Honestly, I love having access to see their hand. It lets you play so much better against the opponent if you know what's going on. Okay, opening a hand looks great. Got tons of stuff to do. We can go the turn 2, draw a card nonsense. Let's just lead out with Godless Shrine here, pay for it. And we'll start with Cavern Bat. The next turn, the plan is Haliya plus Sanctifier for the extra card. The nice thing is that Amalia can get us an extra card too, so kind of gives us options. So let's attack first so we can get the life gain, just so they don't like have the shock ready in response. If they want to shock it now, I guess it's kind of annoying, but now that we have the life, we can guarantee the card draw. So now we can go Haliya. We want to do Haliya first, so even if they shock the Sanctifier, we still gain the life and draw the card. If you don't do it in this order, they can deny you the card draw, and nobody wants that. Shock or no? Guess not. We've got a really nice turn 2 or turn 3 setup here with another warped Haliya into Amalia, which feels pretty good. Let's go Concealed. Yeah, and then we'll just Haliya again. Man, I love warping in Haliya. It just feels so good. And then let's get Amalia going. Okay, got a nice card draw. Ruin-Lurker sounds great to me. Keep that on top. And we'll get a card draw and a 4/4. Now they're going to need like Sheltered by Ghost to deal with Amalia, which they might have. Yeah, there it is. But at least we can double spell next turn, which gives us a fighting chance to get back into this. And then they probably just Shard Mages here so they can, unless they want to like hold protection. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so now we want to, I think Haliya plus Ruin-Lurker Bat. We could also just Pridemate here and start getting a big Pridemate. I like drawing cards. It gives us a better chance to draw into our own potential Sheltered by Ghosts. And it's a decent body. So I think we go that direction. I don't think we can block this here. I think it's just too unlikely to be able to block it safely. Mainly because I have no idea what they've got in their hand. They have probably more Shard Mages nonsense. I could give it flying with +1/+1 and flying. Ethereal Armor is a beating. Wow. This might be a short game. Can they kill us here? Alright, so they're probably holding up protection. Question is, do we go for it? I feel like they've got Shard Mages here, but I don't know that we can wait. I guess if we go for Sheltered by Ghosts, we could also just target the Sheltered by Ghosts to kind of circumvent it. Because I don't think this can protect the actual Sheltered by Ghosts, and that'll buy us some time. It also lets us Pridemate at the same time, which I like. Alright, so let's do that. I think that's the play. It doesn't get rid of their threat, unfortunately, but it lets us... yeah, I don't know. I think I might also do it after combat, just so that they can't, like, Helix something in response. Okay, and they're thinking about Helixing right now. Okay, now that it's a 4/4, actually we can do it now safely. Unless they have double shock, that would be kind of a beating. I mean, we're at 15. I don't think we die, so I think we just attack, make it a 6/6 just to be super safe here. And then I think maybe we hold back the Sanctifier as a potential chump, just in case this thing gets, like, enormous. Just want to be really try to play around potential burn. Again, they could just, like, take it away with another Shelter by Ghosts, but this at least buys us a little time. Maybe they have Get Lost. That could be something. I think it's probably just burn. Yeah, let's see. I think we want their Sheltered by Ghosts. So they can't Shard Mage around it. Now we get a little bit more life, hopefully some card draw. Ooh, that's a nice pickup. And we can lay our Godless Shrine. So they could just take it away again. Okay, or if they can Nemesis and burn the Nemesis, then it stops the life gain, which is annoying. But at least we have a 9/8. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Sure. So now we have to beat them in a fair fight, which is a little rough. I guess we just start playing 3/3s. Okay, so let's start with this one. And then we just hold back our 9/8 and just beat them in the air. Start the long grind here. Yeah, because we don't want to give them this trade. I think for the same reason, I guess we can't gain life. If we block with Haliya, they just kill our Exemplar or Amalia. Do we just race here? Is that the move? I think we just race. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. We have 6 mana, so we won't have enough for both. I guess we can Starting Town and then Fountainport next turn. And then I think we just keep swinging in the air. So this is going to be a close run game. The good news is that our 9/8 is kind of sort of holding back one of their 3/3s, at least for now, until they have more action. We just hope that they don't get like another Sheltered by Ghost, which would be awkward. Okay, if they have if they're attacking with the 5/5 for a strike, that means that they've got actions. They can get the Pridemate out of the way. I think we have to block this, but how do we want to block it? We could just chump with Sanctifier, which I kind of like. Could also like triple block it with these 3. But again, if they have like action, it could be really rough. I think we just chump here. And here we like force them to give it like trample or some nonsense. Okay, now we can go for Fountainport. And try to win in the air. Problem is that they might have like the flash flying enchantment nonsense, which is pretty rough. We could also consider, I don't think we can full attack here because if they shoot this back at us, we just die. So maybe just these 4 for now. But like potentially next turn we can like line up a turn where we can attack with Pridemate safely. Okay, and now we just use a token to chump whatever they throw at us. We could also chump with Haliya here because we've got another one hanging out. Okay, so they're going for straight burn. How much do they have in hand is the real question. Okay, maybe they've just got all of the burn. That could be it. Do they have the Helix to go with it? Actually, I guess if they just attack with Nemesis, we're just dead. Just kind of, they've already got it. I mean, you know, triple Boros Charm will do it too. Wow. Yeah, Nemesis is so good against us. 1 and 2. It's funny, with all the life gain, you would think that Boros or Mono Red would be an easy match, but Nemesis changes all of that math. Okay, opening hand looks great. Let's run it. And I think we try to go for the natural draw into another basic. If we miss, we can just go like bad into Sanctifier, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, mono red. Nice pickup. Let's go for Pridemate here, just because Channeler, you can still burn it out with Shock. So we'll play around that by going for Pridemate. Get that 3 toughness. So if they want to commit, they're going to have to use Lightning Strike. And if they're doing that, they're not progressing their board, which is all good things. Okay, so they're probably holding Lightning Strike. I think we're going to wait on Restless Fortress and just go for Swamp here. Let's do Hinterland into Channeler and see what they do. Lightning Strike probably now. Sure. If they want to burst lightning that and the bat, maybe? Okay. That'll work. Ooh, Hellkite is nasty here. Oh, that was a nice play. But all we need to do is get to 4/4, and we're feeling good. Oh god, we can't actually cast this Shelter by Ghost because this doesn't produce colored mana for spells, just for creatures. That is awkward. That is so awkward. Alright. This gives us, unless they have another one of these, I think they run 4, so there's a decent chance they have another Hellkite here. They do not. We could trade here. I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world. But I think we can do better, especially since we've got Sheltered by Ghosts. Alright, now we can go for Sheltered by Ghosts on Pridemate to play around potential shock. Since they have 2 Bastronauts, like we can't get rid of both of them. They're both going to have double strike. It's annoying. I think we get rid of Challenger here. And now we've got to be careful not to attack with a Channeler and just die to Bastronaut. Okay, there's Hellkite. We could activate Fortress here or go for Channeler. I guess they just kill Fortress, so that's not amazing. We could go Channeler and then try to find something with Lupinflower Village end of turn. And do we want to give this thing... I think let's tap it like this, just so we can use Starting Town on their turn if we want to. Man. Do we trade this for Hellkite? I think we kind of have to. Oh, that's so awkward. Because those we're just sitting here and just taking tons of damage. They get back their Challenger, but I think we got to make this trade. Problem is now they can push for a lot of double strike. And now they're just going to go for Soulstone. So now I suppose we could legitimately try to go for Fortress next turn to grow these. That might be right. Maybe it's better to find something to play. I don't actually know. So, like, this is a 1/4. They can just kill it. We will gain the life, which will make this a 5/4 and a 4/3. That might actually be good enough, honestly. I think we just do that. Okay, there's the Fountainport. We want to make sure to spend starting town for life so that we lose a life and give these things vigilance. And push. Oh, and that's just game, right? Cool. Nice. 2 and 2. We are fighting to stay in the top 1200, but it'd be nice to get into the top 100. I think either way I'll be happy, but, you know, it would be cool. Okay, opening hand looks great. Got stuff to do. Nice 1/2. Man, so much mono red. This is wild. Start off with Healer's Hawk. And I think actually next turn there's an argument for just going double spell over Pridemate. Especially if they're holding Lightning Strike mana. Yeah. Alright, let's attack first in case they want to burn something. Okay, and then let's go Sanctifier. Yep. Do they have Screaming Nemesis is the real question. Like the whole game revolves around that card. Yep, they do. Okay, good to know. Well, we get one turn before they turn off lifelink. And if you're ever wondering if it's worth turning off lifelink, it always is. From the other side of the table. Alright, so the order we play this doesn't matter. It's going to be just better this way. So at least we can get a 5/5 before all hell breaks loose. Never blocking that ever, unless we lose otherwise. Yep, there it is. So at least they have to kill it. Now we gotta ride this into victory with a 5/5, which, I mean, you know, is doable. Ooh, show off. Cool story. I guess let's get a vanilla 2/1. Well, I guess it's just a 5/5. All things considered, actually pretty happy with the 5/5. The other nice thing is we can pay life with Fountainport to fly over and attack with a 2/1. Ooh. Yeah, I'll take that block. I'll take that all day. We could also try to kill their Hired Claw, but I think I'd rather just kill this. Do you have more? Yes, and? Give more? Sure. Okay. I think we just want to set up for Restless Fortress here over trying to go and find something. Because like we're going to find a bat at most, and I actually kind of like Restless Fortress. So this way we can also like make something in a turn. Trying to decide if we want to block and chump with Fountainport. So we take potentially 2/4 and on our upkeep, or draw step 5, drop to 5, swing back for 1, 2, 4, 9, 10. I think we just take it. Force him to have action. They need, like, even if they have Lightning Strike, it's not enough. That should be game. So the only other card they could have that could potentially get us is the, oh god, whatever it's called. I can't think of the name of it. It does 5 damage, and the cost is reduced depending on the number of attackers. So as long as we attack with 2 creatures, they can do it. So they could have that. That would be annoying. But I think we go for it. It's like we're not just dead if they have it. So this already is enough, and they shouldn't be able to kill anything here. I think we hold everything back for blockers. I guess if they have the 5 damage, we can push another 2. So 1, 2, 5. I think we want a second blocker though. So I guess we can just attack with like this token. I'm trying to think what they could possibly have. If they'd like draw something with haste. these two were enough, so we'll just do these two. So it forces him to have it, but I think that's our only out. Nice. All right, 3 and 2. Yeah, I really like how this deck plays. There are surprisingly difficult matchups, but that one at least, it feels like we at least have a chance against Mono Red and Boros. Boros does feel a little bit more difficult, but, you know, let's take a look at the stats. So this is one of my better decks so far. Currently, the win rate is 78%. 75% win rate on the play and 80% on the draw. So it's doing very well so far. It's only a small number of matches, but it is currently 7 wins and 2 losses. And it looks like about 50-50 with Boros, 3-1 with Mono Red, and then it has a couple wins against like Teamer, the 4-mana, you know, Crier deck, and then some Reanimator, I guess. But yeah, really fun. I would definitely recommend crafting it. Again, the deck list will be in the description. And thanks guys for watching. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one.